You would be so proud of me.
Drunk.
I didn't buy anything at the Lego store.
That's some good. That's some strong will there.
Because I didn't want to carry it.
Okay. Reason's a reason.
At Disneyland, you want to carry more shit? No.
You can have them hold it at the front gate.
Okay, but am I going to remember that at midnight? No.
Yeah, that's true.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai. Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's LaRue! It's a dream return!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City match preview and footy therapy pod featuring two podcast-certified footy therapists. I'm your host, Angela Morales, with my sci-fi sorcerer of a co-host, Mario Salazar.
That was clean. That was clean. Right off of what we were talking about. I like
know.
it.
I was so proud of myself. On this episode, we'll be talking about our upcoming match against Racing Louisville on Saturday, May 24th at BMO, a home game, which is going to be a...
Finally? No, it's...
It feels like finally, but it also feels like yesterday we were at BMO because it was like anytime I think about it, it's... Yeah. But we're okay. Things are okay. Kickoff is at 7. If you are at home and you can't make it to the match, you can watch on Ion TV. It's part of the Saturday doubleheader. Friday night is WNBA. We're back, baby. It's women's sports on Ion weekend. Doubleheader Friday, WNBA. Doubleheader on Ion on Saturday, NWSL. We love women's sports. We're here. I almost said we're here. We're queer. Get used to it. But hey, we're almost at Pride. Long Beach Pride was this weekend. So guess what?
That works too.
Yeah. As always, the game will be broadcast on iHeartRadio on the Angel City station. So make sure you listen to Isaac and Tracy, who are just the best. They'll give you warm fuzzies. They'll make you feel like you're there. If you can sync it up somehow, some way. Okay, here's the thing. I like the broadcasters. Like, I like the TV broadcasters. Mario has mixed feelings, whatever.
I have mixed feelings. I mean, I do
too, depending on like the game. But for the most part, the Ion teams are really good. Yeah, Isaac and Tracy are great. So sync it up if you want, or don't.
I think in general, like I have problems with the MLS callers too. It's just in general, they feel sometimes a little flat, and it's just because they're being neutral. They're being
I was gonna say it's the impartiality. They're not partial the way Isaac and Tracy can be.
Yeah, Isaac and Tracy can be full on like Angel City, but also like Isaac does a really good play-by-play where
it's so good,
right? And then, but on a TV broadcast, they don't really have to do play-by-play because you're watching it.
Yeah, color commentating is so different than radio play-by-play. And if you are LA sports native and you grew up listening to Chick Hearn and Stu Lance or Vin Scully, there's nothing better. Isaac's up there, genuinely. Or, what's the guy from the Kings? Oh, crap, what's his name? He's a Hall of Fame announcer also. Like, we were so lucky as Angelinos to grow up with, like, top-notch, top-tier announcers.
I mean, so there's a little bit... There's a little bit of me. Again, I don't necessarily have a bad thing about the TV announcers. There's just, like, this last one, it was, like, press.
Yeah.
Now Gordon.
It was flat.
Back to press. It's the joke that everybody makes about soccer. It's like that one Simpsons where it was like the World Cup and it was like Brazil like passing it back and forth.
Yeah.
And liven it up a little bit,
I agree. Thankfully, a lot of the NWSL commentators are very like they're excitable. There's history there. They've been calling games forever, or they were players, or like it's good stuff for the most part. So there's a little bit of a difference than like the back and forth and everything. But the cool thing is if you are going to be at the game and you haven't already either pre-ordered or picked it up at the store or whatever you want to call it, it is going to be the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Pacific Islander celebration night. There's a super fantastic scarf that Amadea helped design, but it was designed by the local creator. Amadea is the creative director for the team, and she is great. But and a fan of the pod, so like, why not? No, but like every design that Angel City puts out is top tier. Like they pull in local creatives, local artists, like artists that group.
I do love the Hispanic heritage scarf from last 2 seasons
year,
maybe 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, and that's my favorite one. I wear that one if I'm not wearing the casual FC scarf, because I didn't, honestly, I like the day one scarf.
The day one scarf is very heavy and stretchy, and it's hot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 80 this weekend. I'm not wearing a hot thing. Literally anything.
The beer koozie thing doesn't quite work.
Yeah. I like the idea. The execution's kind of funky. But I get it. They had to get a lot of them real quick. But we've got news. We've got updates.
Yes. Breaking news.
I've got fidgets. So that's cool.
So you might hear that on the pod. We have breaking news that just broke today. It actually broke sometime this afternoon. Vanessa Gilles has finally been traded. So contract has moved on. She is no longer with the team. She is moving on to Bayern Munich. And you know what? Good for her. We joke half jokingly the whole time where it's just like, she doesn't even go here, because we honestly didn't get to really,
we didn't get to enjoy her skill and her goodness before she left for OL.
And I think there's a little bit of extra saltiness with the fact that she's like a defender, and defense was kind of a big issue for us for a long time. So
sparse.
Yeah. So, you know what? All jokes aside, though, really happy for her. I think being on loan and getting the opportunity is a great thing. But now that your loan is 4 or 5 years long, that ends up getting that's like when you're freelancing and you're a contractor, and then you're like, oh, well, my contract's only for 2 weeks. What am I, or they keep stringing you along, and then you never get your health insurance kind of stuff. It's weird that way.
Someone here to experience with that. What are you talking about?
Congratulations to her. Wishing her all the best in Germany. Kind of seems like we got, they got her and we got the coach. Like,
yeah, it's
done
funny
deal.
How things shake out.
Yeah, who knows if they're actually related? I mean,
yeah, I don't think so. But
I don't think so. But it's just kind of funny the way it shook out. Overall, excited for her, and you know what? She's been happy in the European system, so that's all good. And she's Canadian. Coming back to the U.S. isn't a great thing. I get it. It's yeah. So congratulations to her. And in better news that we all really needed, as we've all had Savy in our thoughts, and really, as we'll talk about it in the match, like, we weren't quite there. There was still there's a heaviness around it.
Nobody was where they wanted to be, but whatever.
Yeah. So Savy, I'm going to read her statement. She is now out of the hospital. She was released on the 17th. Savy said, "I'm still finding the words to express just how much your love and support have meant to me over these past few days. What I do know is that I wouldn't be getting through this without my incredible family by my side, my amazing teammates who have shown up for me and prayed for me, the fans, the entire soccer community, and the outstanding medical team here at Angel City who saved my life and cared for me every step of the way. I know God's got me, and I'm looking forward to recovering and getting back out on the field." We're just glad that it,
I'm glad she's out of the hospital, because that means, like, essentially whatever situation is, it's
not dire enough to be under monitored.
Right. Like, she no longer needs, like, consistent, like, hookups and monitors and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's stable enough where she can go home because she's better at home.
Exactly. So we are ecstatic for her. We are happy. We're still sending all the good vibes to Savy and the family. Like we said some episode ago,
sometime recently,
she'll get better when she gets better. Like, we all have a tendency of wanting to know more, but like we said, there's very much a line between knowing what you need to know and then knowing too much or asking for too much. Right now, we know what we need to know, and that's all good. She will recover on her own time. If the team has not made an announcement any which way about like if they're putting her on, she's definitely on a injured list.
Yeah,
but
she will not be playing this week.
Yeah, don't expect her on the pitch.
Yeah,
but they haven't released any statement or anything about being on an SEI or anything like that. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. If it happens, let them work it out. Let them figure it out. At the moment,
from a heart surgery is not something you rush.
Yeah. And, thankfully it happened how it happened, right? We said this previously too. If this would have happened like some random day,
or she was at home by herself,
she was at home
or whatever,
or out on a walk and then all of a sudden collapsed, like it would have been a lot more dangerous. And she was surrounded by an entire medical team that was able to jump on the situation right away. Thankfully, all of that was in place the way it was, and she is good. She is home, and wishing her all the best. Yeah,
and shout out to like the league for supporting. Like the Reign had a jersey made for her. Sheridan had a black and pink like wristband. A lot of people had, SK3 on like tape on their wrists. Like so many other teams. I'm already getting emotional about this, so sorry about it. I don't care. The community of soccer showed up. And that's what Savy was talking about. But like every game you saw it, I don't think like the games were fine this week, but like I really don't think anybody was okay across the league. Whether you were, Utah or Angel City or some other random team, I don't think anyone. Yeah, because it was on it. Like that could have been anyone.
It was on everybody's mind. I don't. Of course, some more than others. Yeah. Us in particular, but these, at the end of the day, we said, and we're always saying, should be a shirt by this point. Whistle to whistle is where it happens. It's where the rivalry happens, and that rule still stands.
Yeah.
Because there was a whistle when it happened, and that broke the whistle to whistle thing. But whistle to whistle. You're not my friend. We're having a match. We're gonna battle it out on the field. Before and after, it's just a game. Like there are more serious things in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is something that would affect everyone. It was amazing to see all the outpouring. It was amazing to see the solidarity and support from Bay FC. And we'll get to that
she's their rookie.
We have deep connections between that now. But before we get to all of that, let's just hit up that Chaos Award for the week.
Okay, so I have one that I wrote down because it was silly. But the other one, the Chaos Award, is not necessarily soccer related. It's the fact that I spent 2 full days at Disney with my whole family for my mom's birthday. That was on Friday. We were at Disneyland Friday and Saturday. And honest to God, I don't know what magic occurred, who pulled some strings. There was nobody there. We went on Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion in under an hour. Both. Like one and then immediately the other. Because we're like 20 minutes. Okay, I'll go in line. We went on every ride we wanted to go on, some twice, over 2 days. It was insane. It was the kickoff of the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. And on Friday we got there. There was like a gazillion people on Main Street buying everything. And then you got past Main Street and there was like nobody. And it was cold. It was great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was walking around.
Bad weather at Disneyland.
Nice. Yeah. I was walking around. I was like, it was pretty chilly. And I was thinking of you. And I was like, oh, yeah. It's like awesome. Because like you're also not walking around in a hot sun.
You're
not
sweating.
You're sweating everywhere. Yeah. And then because of the peak, like, of course, there was a bunch of social media stuff everywhere that was like the new parade. And we got in blah, 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 like all of that stuff. And I was just thinking, yeah, there's the I've seen the picture of like whenever they do the popcorn buckets, and it's this one particular guy who's like a reseller and has like 50 of them.
Yep.
Even though the thing is like a limit of 2 per person, but he has 50, and he's walking around with all these like Death Stars, and I'm just like,
what?
It's those type of people that are there that are.
Yeah, and people were lining up at the World of Disney store out of the park at 7 a.m. It doesn't open until 9. But we did it. We survived. My feet still hurt. I have bruises everywhere.
I text Angela on Monday. I was like, hope Disney was a blast. This is the response. I'm so tired, dude. OMFG. I'm at work and I hate my life. I'm too old for this shit.
Yep. I was sitting there on Monday just like, why didn't I take today off? Like, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm so stupid. Whatever. I made it through. Today's Tuesday. I actually slept last night. Woo, party. So, the actual Chaos Award. During the Louisville-Seattle game, there was this, like, moment. Ball goes up in the air, and somehow Aaron Wright, Jordan Heidema, and Shea Holmes all wound up.
I did see this.
Together. Like, together. It's my 3 fingers, like, just they're there. And the ball is in the middle. I'm, like, trying to point with my microphone. Like, it's just in there. And they just kind of shimmied a lot. Everybody got hit in the face by the ball because no one wanted to let the ball hit the ground, because if they did, then somebody else would take it. You know, like, it was one of those, like, no, it's mine. No, it's mine.
Yeah. They're either going to kick it in or it's going to get cleared. So nobody wanted to let it fall.
Neither team wanted it to fall for different reasons. But it was, like, so silly. It was like everybody needs a little shimmy, you know, like the league is making fun of it. It was perfect. I unfortunately didn't get to watch any soccer this weekend because I was either at Disneyland or laying on my couch wishing I could take off my legs and put them in the freezer to stop hurting. But I survived. And here I am. Worse for wear.
I'll see if I can find the clip of that thing because it was pretty funny when I was watching it. So with that, let's do a quick roundabout of all the scores in the NWSL. We had San Diego beating Gotham 1-0.
Ooh, spicy.
Portland beat Houston 4-1. KC beat Orlando. That was they were touting that up as the big match because, you know, their records, which are still going to continue being awesome throughout the season, which is annoying. Seattle beat Louisville 1-0. Then we have North Carolina beating Chicago 2-0. We got a tie with Washington and Utah 3-3, which also ended up being another crazy game.
Was insane. There's an own goal. There's multiple. Like, it was goals.
Yeah, but wasn't it like all insanity for the first like 15 or 20 minutes and then and then the rest of the game was nothing. Yeah. So yeah. And then that brings us to us being the last game of this weekend. It ended up being Angel City versus Bay FC up in PayPal Park in San Jose, and we lost 0-2.
Honestly, whatever.
Yeah. So I think this is going to probably be the quickest recap that we had. There was 2 goals, one of them coming from Penn. It is what it is. The cool thing that we were talking about is just the support that Bay gave for one of their own previously, and just for being good humans in general. Angel City walked off the bus when they got to the stadium. They all had SK3 shirts on, and then both teams walked out onto the field during the walkout with the SK3 shirts on, kind of supporting Savy there. So it was just a really nice gesture. It was really nice, really showing everybody that she was still clearly on everybody's mind.
Yeah, and at that point, we had not gotten the notification that she, or no, we had that she had gotten home. Because the game was Saturday night and it was released earlier Saturday. But like, imagine we're at Disneyland. Even I at the same time are like, we're in a line like, Savy King is home. Just like, But no, this week was what it was. Like, and that's it.
It was.
Yeah. I expected nothing.
Yeah, we were in our preview. We talked about how Bay hasn't necessarily been completely stellar either, and honestly, the scoreline kind of does show it, 2-0.
Yeah.
Like, and one of them being a penalty. it was what it was. We held them down. We did what we had to do, and any kind of result would have been like cool, but we
like fine.
Yeah, fine. Because it was a loss, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I really think the only point of this game after last week or the last week and a half has just been like to cross it off the to-do list.
Yeah.
We did it. We completed it. We can move on. We have more information. The team has more information. Like, they had extra days off. This is the thing that I think Eva and I were talking about it, and she brought it up. This is the first major crisis that some of these kids, like the kids on the team, have ever experienced. Some of them may not have ever lost a family member or gone through those big life-changing events or like milestone markers in their lives that like kind of shift your mindset on the world. And imagine you're looking at your friend not knowing the outcome, and now you're supposed to just go play soccer like it's no big deal. Who gives a shit at that point? But this week they got through it, and that was the biggest, most important thing. I would have loved for us to win and like a do it for Savy kind of thing, but honestly, who cares?
Yeah.
It
would have been it would have been awesome. And even though they got the news that she went home, that she was good enough to go home to be discharged and all of that, it was later on in the week when it happened.
Yeah. Well, it was the same day as the game. So like,
yeah. And you're dealing with that the entire week of knowing that, okay, she's okay, but she's still there. Right.
Yeah.
So it's, to say that it wasn't weighing on them is a complete lie. Right. So and we're not saying that is the absolute reason we lost. Right. Sure. Whatever. But at this point, it doesn't fucking matter. So let's move on.
This is one of those you just say, okay, we did it. We got through it. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Let's sleep in our own beds. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's take care of each other. Let's celebrate what we can celebrate, and then come back as like, they also, like, the team didn't have time to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
The front office, the coaching staff. Okay. What? Yeah. Honestly, they could have rescheduled this game, but I'm not even going to get into that part of it.
How can they reschedule unwell? Okay, sorry. I didn't want to bring that up. I'm sorry. I was trying to not bring that up at all.
I just want to, really quick, on that note, I want to give a shout out to the visiting teams supporter groups who traveled, who were audible on the broadcast. Thank you. Thank you for representing the general consensus loudly and proudly. You did us all a service. So thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, after the game,
thoughts and feelings.
Mario posted, "It happened. Best we pick up and move on." And that's exactly what everybody said. Katie was like, "I am mad. I saw some good stuff. A week off, like an off week after last week's game. Okay." Like, legit, we had so many responses that were just like, okay. No one cared.
Yeah.
Plus, we only got Slady. We have Slay for a couple more weeks, and then it's June.
Yep.
So, not even a couple more weeks, friends. This is, hold on, I have the calendar up.
It's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks. We're like almost single-digit countdown to a new coach at Angel City that might actually like rev the engines and kickstart something. So, woohoo. Max came in with a longer thing, but the big important part was they pressured us cleverly, fiercely, and well. They forced us to make mistakes. We continue to allow goals, not by getting beat, but by making defensive errors. And that has to stop now, which that's actually very true. I had a feeling that Bay FC was going to come in and be like, well, they're down a center back, like a fast center back. They're, like, shit's weird.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. And honestly, if I was the opposing team, I would have done the same thing. I don't fault them for that. And people might have issue with that, but I get it.
No, if you have issue with that, I mean, there's a certain amount of sportsmanship that just needs to happen. You
don't throw a game.
No,
because that's worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ethan came in with our favorite haiku. Mario and I were joking around before we started recording that like we've had to start editing down like how many people we read their responses because we've been getting so many.
Not editing responses.
Oh, no, not
just editing the number
of
responses that we need to do.
Censorship, what's that? But Ethan's haikus will always and forever be on that list because it's an OG thing. It's so first season. Oh my God. A first season of Casual FC. But Ethan said, first errant passes. Utes together found something. Gonna count on hope. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to count on hope for the rest of the season because I have a feeling this weekend we're going to come in flying real hot and like real close to the sun. And I love it. Doug said that he really enjoyed Megan Reed frustrating Rachel Kundananji all night because she's a physical player. We talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You could tell that it was getting to Kundananji and Megan Reed per usual.
Yeah.
Super chill. Cool as cucumber.
Yeah. It reminded me of the match that we had our watch party at Watch Me. We were watching the Orlando match and watching Marta just get so frustrated. And I think she even pounded on the ground.
Yes.
Kundananji was like one step away from like just dropping to the floor and like getting that mad, but she was pissed off. Yeah. And it was great. Reed was doing an amazing job.
You want.
It was a little worrying that Reed got a yellow so early in the game because of that shithousery that was going on there. But she held it down and it was amazing and it was just great. And then again, posted it on Instagram and we did get a couple of results here and a lot of the same feelings that we've just kind of talked about already. Myrna also came in with, we played, time to go home. Mm-hmm. And exactly. And then Liz and Sam came in with, effort was there, we just weren't clicking. Nice to see Kristen start and Casey get minutes, which is great. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
How do you, and barring the fact that we've been waiting for this as a fan base for so long, having press start again, do you like her more as the super sub, or do you want to see more of her starting?
Pitch. I don't care when.
No, I know. I agree.
No, like genuinely, I don't have a preference really because the roles are so different.
Yeah.
You know, like she was a prevalent game changer, which is what they called subs on the national team during her tenure. That was her role, to come off the bench and just shake things up and be like, bam, 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 goal, goal, goal. And she did it, and she did it well, and she did it beautifully. But like, she's also a starter. She's also a 90-minute player, you know, and not so much now, obviously, but like seeing her start, that's why I'm sad I missed the match. Is to see her first start, you know, like,
yeah.
I saw the lineup and I was like, oh my God, I'm like screaming in the line at Disneyland. I was like, what is wrong with this girl? And I'm like, Kristen Press. Okay. But no, it's an important thing for a player of her caliber to have that like notch again of just, I can do this. You deserve this start because it's also very self-reassuring that you still got it.
Coming back from that type of injury, right? It's not like you still got it because you were retired for 5 years and you're coming back to everything and being like, let me dust it off. No, like it was like a major injury and you're
like you
had
to adjust your entire mindset around like life, not even just your job, not even soccer, life. You had to like reevaluate some shit. No, I think Kristen Press on the pitch is important. Doesn't matter when. She finds the need either way.
Yeah. With the speed and the soccer IQ and the creativity, I kind of like her as the super sub.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally giving her though the minutes that she like, give her the full half hour, give her even if it's a halftime sub, like being able to say, look, you got fresh legs compared to everybody else that's just been running around, and you've got like amazing soccer IQ, winning combination, and I think that leads to a lot more creative chances. That's
fair. Yeah.
So I kind of do like it. Again, I'm with you on, she just needs minutes. She just needs to be on the pitch. Like,
yep.
Bar none. All right. Well, with that, let's just preview our actual next match, our home match.
Yeah.
Against Racing Louisville.
Racing Louisville.
I always forget
say it like you got marbles in your mouth. Louisville.
Racing Louisville.
Obviously, everybody's still recovering from everything with Savy. The team more so than the rest of us, but everybody's included in that. As it stands right now, we're in 7th place, still in playoff contention. So I'm fine with it. And like I said, I don't care about last week. And Louisville's in 11th. So this is actually a really great opportunity to win, pick up points, and kind of get back in the swing of things. I don't hate it.
Yeah. If we had, if there were a match that we needed to be able to kind of set things back up.
Yep.
This one or Chicago.
Yeah. But this one I think is major, partially because, so I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks back, Louisville and Portland, was it Portland? I think it was Portland. Ended up with a crazy game. Red cards, yellow cards, 42 fouls or 41 fouls, whatever it was. That Ari ended up with a 3 or 4 game suspension. Like, she served her yellow card and then 3 more games. This is the 4th game. So they are without a very large part of their team. And we need to be.
So this is the last.
This is the last game of her suspension. Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to capitalize on that because she's a huge factor, and because she's a non-factor, they also have to make some changes. And I'm very curious because Louisville, Bev Yanez is an amazing coach. She was an amazing player. Like, she's a player coach that's actually like working out, and it's pretty dope. And I think everybody loves that for her, for the team, for players who become coaches, all that. But it's interesting because they haven't, kind of like how I was saying with BFC last week, like they haven't kind of like figured it out yet. They're hot and cold in that sense. Ooh, I just hit my little setup and I had a little earthquake. But they haven't quite dialed it in to the point of being like a powerhouse, because they very well could be. And it's hot, it's cold, it's kind of everywhere, but not where you want it to be at the right times. So I'm curious to see kind of how this plays out. Player wise, Taylor Flint, she was part of our main conversation of the nuptial kits, because I didn't know who she was for like a month and a half until I realized she's Taylor Korniak, but she got married. Whatever, change her name, I guess. But she's actually been a lot quieter than most people expected scoring wise. I don't know if that's just like playing styles or what. So it's curious because given her height and our issues defending set pieces, she spells trouble.
Our issues defending tall people.
Do they want me to just come and stand? And I can just stand there and be like, hi, I'm 5'10". Dink. I can jump. Yeah. Dink. I don't want to because it hurts, but I can. I'll do it. I'm tall. But, you know, that's one of those things where it's like, she's a threat regardless, because she's very good at what she does, and she's very tall and she's very lanky, so she can kind of wiggle into small spaces like Alana Kennedy. And then there's Erin Wright, who we mentioned earlier during the little shimmy shake of the Chaos Award. She is, sorry, I cried for 2 seconds and now my nose is running incredibly itchy. So Erin Wright is a veteran of the NWSL. She has a huge part in keeping their defense organized. And like I said, that Louisville is still trying to put their pieces together. She's part of the glue. Like, she's a stalwart in that sense. So she's always just good. It's not one of those things where you're like, well, sometimes no, she's just good. She's just where she needs to be, where you don't want her to be. But yeah. And then, so Katie Lund is actually out for the season with a labrum injury. That's your hip muscle that kind of holds your hip together, for those of you who don't know your bodies very well. So
I learned something new. The
labrum is incredibly important. And when that's injured, it hurts a lot and it's hard to do things like move around because it's a big muscle. So she's out for the season with that. So Jordan Bloomer has kind of stepped in. However, this season, over the first 9 games, they've conceded 14 goals. They're -5 goal differential wise. So it sucks. And I'm not saying she sucks. I'm just saying the situation sucks, because you set up your season, you set up your team. Everybody's, yeah, cool. This is what we're doing. This is the vibe. This is the thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, LOL, JK, no, it's not. What are you going to do? And it takes time. So they're going to be, like I said, looking to tighten everything up defensively to help support this keeper, and also help support an offense that's like a little shaky or on shaky ground. Inconsistent wise.
It all feels a little too familiar.
Truly, like, that's the thing. It's like I look at Bay, I look at Louisville, and like even Utah, and it's, oh yeah, I know what that looks like. I know what that feels like. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
we've been through that.
Yeah.
We've been through that.
But yeah, that's Louisville in a nutshell. They always have really cool kits though. That's the hard part. And
I will say that the kind of that purple lavender.
Yeah, the houndstooth they had.
Yeah.
So good. So yeah, Louisville is good. That's the thing. They're good on paper. They just haven't figured it all out yet. You know, the same thing we've been saying about Angel City for 3 years. And with that, talking about Angel City, we're going to talk about Megan Reed because we can. And we have talked about her a lot, but I'm not going to be like emotional about it this time.
And we're going to be seeing
a lot of her again.
A lot more Megan Reed.
Yeah. So
going forward.
It's expected. Then we all kind of predicted it, called it, whatever you want to say. But it's expected that she's just going to slot right in next to Sarah as center back because that's what she does. And like last season, she seemed a little bit off in the sense of there's a lot of back passes, like a lot. But this season,
are you talking about like the back passes to the keeper? I always wondered like where that, because that wasn't just her.
No,
that was like,
it was like a team philosophy.
Yeah, it was a philosophy to pass it back to Didi, and then it became our philosophy to be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, as fans, it was like doing that. But we haven't done it as much. We don't do it as much anymore. And when we need a big boot, Angelina's got the big boot. So it works out most of the time. But she's looked so...
Strategic boots.
Yeah, strategic big boots. She's been looking a lot better, like a lot more fluid and a lot less, oh crap, what do we do this season? Which is perfect. And that's fine. And it's going to be a little shaky back there for a game or two, but whatever, I don't care. We talked about her experiences in EMT and how that brings this like steady, calm demeanor, but it also brings a different sense of leadership. And there's a lot of talk of how leadership shows up in women who've played sports, especially high level. If you get into like club, college, professional, semi-pro, something in those realms, you display leadership. Women display leadership differently. And it's much more robust and it's much like much more understated because it's just like what you do. It's what you do on the court, the pitch, whatever. You exist in the world differently. And I think that's Megan's form of leadership. It's not as obvious. It's not as showy as a lot of other people, or like the way you see it in men's sports or through men in general. It's, I'm a leader, I'm in charge. Women, it's more like I show by example, or I'm bringing you along with me to show you the ropes. It's a lot more collaborative. And I think that's a lot of what we see through Megan. And I think a lot of that comes from, one, playing soccer, but also like being an EMT, you got to have a cool head. You can't just be like, all the time, because you have to be calm so other people are calm, so they don't go into shock. But bodies are weird, guys. I'll say that forever. But yeah, last week was a super fun game. Just being a pest on defense and bothering Rachel Kundananji.
You know what? I want a shit stirrer in the back.
Yeah, she's a shit stirrer. I want some
shithousery.
A very quiet one.
And when you do it so effectively, like it's just the best, right? Because like in general, we can say that there isn't as much flopping in the women's game.
Not at all. And when it happens, everybody's
everybody like, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not at all, but it's been happening.
Oh, but like not nearly as much as men.
No, not even.
You look
close.
At a guy wrong, he falls down.
Yeah. But to have someone like Megan in that back line who's just so sure-footed that there's been some times where there was times where Rachel, I'm not going to say she was flopping, but she was being a little loose. Yeah. A little loosey-goosey.
You're trying to get the call because you're so mad. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was just so sure-footed about like how she was like doing all of that the ref was just like, nah, I'm not going to call it, like play on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing through this.
When you see the demeanor shift in both the defender and the offensive player, and everybody's like getting chippy and like throwing bodies around. Yeah, there's more to call. But when the defense is just no, I just kicked the ball. That's all. I didn't actually touch her. It's very much I'm not touching you thing.
I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
I'm not touching
exactly.
you.
And she's just, yeah, okay. And I'm curious how she's going to match up with Louisville's defense offense, because they're going to want to score. And if we break that up, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. We're on a positive. Oh, well, no, we're not on a positive goal.
We're even. We're at 0.
We're even. Okay.
So it's fine.
We're good. We're good. And I have a feeling that as we figure our situation out, we'll keep that on a good trajectory, right?
Absolutely.
We've got a solid person in the keeper. We have the makings of a solid back line. They've been getting the shit end of the stick all the time, and they just they need a chance to fully gel,
breathe
free from breathe and like just free from like life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so hopefully they can get that,
free
right?
from harassment, free from life-threatening situations, like just free from playing out of position, free. Oh, and congratulations to our Angels who got the call up. Wild that Giselle got called up as a forward with Alyssa. The U23 roster will come out probably 8 seconds before we drop this episode tomorrow. So probably Kennedy, maybe Riley. I think maybe Riley will get a call up, and I hope so. But
that'd be, I mean, if she doesn't, that'll be surprising.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely rookie of the year contender. Like, she needs to be on that call up.
Yeah. We'll see. Breaking news at some point Wednesday. So yeah, matching up against Racing, we're even across the board. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Anything can happen. And that's, I think, impressive given how tumultuous both teams have been over the last couple seasons. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of changing, a lot of what the hell's going on from both of us. And I think we're going to be okay regardless of what happens. I think this last week was an anomaly. And I think this weekend we're going to be all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, the match is this weekend, Saturday, May 24th. It's against Racing Louisville FC, the team we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes. It's going to be at BMO Stadium, a 7 p.m. kickoff on Ion TV. So if you can't make it to the stadium, you've got bar watching options because it's going to be on very freely available channels for bars. You can also listen to it on iHeartRadio, listen to Isaac and Tracy. They make you feel like you're there. And especially at a home match, it's just going to be that much more of an exciting play-by-play call. It is the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander celebration. That's a whole mouthful. Islander celebration. If you really want, there is a really cool scarf that was just dropped. Check out the Angel City social media stuff. They have a whole kind of deep dive into it, I believe, and really cool images. And it's awesome. And whenever there's merch that's kind of significant to the community and to the culture, if it fits you and it's for you, then that is like just another bit of why these teams and why this community is so special. Hopefully some people can grab a really cool scarf.
I know, it's timers. Like I always hope when we have like big celebration nights or something like that, like for a specific community, those folks who haven't been to a game are like, what? Actual thought put into something from my like how I identify or like whatever, because I feel like so many times it's, oh look, it's Pride, here's a rainbow, or like it's an afterthought on merch, like in all the shade in what I'm about to say. But the Dodgers gave away the same Pride jersey 3 or 4 years in a row. It was dumb. I was like, this is stupid, what are you doing? But they've since changed it, but they've also done some other stuff that I am still mad about. Anyway, we don't do that at Angel City. We actually have reasons behind what we do. And the art that's included in those things, the merch, the signage, the armbands for our captains, like, it's cool. It's real cool.
Yep. So yeah, And if you're still listening and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button because you probably do what you're hearing. Check out casualfc.com for all the pod links. We're also on YouTube. You can see Angela yawn.
I just got a case of the yawn so bad the last 15 minutes. I can't stop.
It's going to be hard to edit around those. So those are just going to be in. Follow our socials at casualfc pod on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. We're at casualfc.com on Blue Sky. It was a thing when we created them. It is what it is.
We're verified.
It's verified though, because we actually own the domain name. So there you go. Join us on the Discord. We have fun conversations. We have awesome pictures of people's pets and fun banter on just random things of, colors of Dole Whip. It's all good stuff. And then best ways to support the pod: share and comment on any one of our posts on social media, or better yet, go to one of wherever you're listening and subscribe, rate, review, do the things for the algorithm to help us out. It's all about engagement, people. And that's probably the best ways you can. And you know what? If you did it last time, you can do it again this time. It's cool. It just helps us out even more. And then we also have merch. Life is lifing. Jobs are hard. So merch will be coming as soon as we can get more stuff out there.
But I think does anybody know where we can get more of that?
Yeah. I think we're still really proud of what we do have, yes. Right? We have our built for LA Lego shirt, M.A. Vingola. And we have just a bunch of other kind of evergreen stuff. We have our Pride mug, and which I still have to get from you.
I know. Sorry.
And then if you feel so inclined and you do want to help support the pod, you can always buy us a coffee. Check out the link in our socials, or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/casualfcpod. It's an easy way to send a buck or two to us to help us kind of keep doing what we're doing. Or there's also a subscription tier that will net you just being really awesome people. And with that, tell a friend about the pod. It brings us good luck. We pack up that good luck and we ship it to wherever the team is going to go. Luckily, we're here at home, so Angela's going to be taking it to the stadium.
Yep, luggage worth.
Yeah. And with that, we will see you guys on Saturday.
See you this weekend. Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait up. Oh, and this is what happens when we start talking about witches and stuffs in books. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Oh, God, you sound so weird.
You sound terrifying. You sound like you're slowed down and also like an overlord.
You sound like either a little girl who's been programmed into a computer, or a droid like that's about to fly in Star Tours or something.
Oh my God.
Okay,
what do we do?
Let me stop it. Let me see if